So we're back here with Big Bass Dreams, and most exciting, I'm here with Riley Kolich.
Hey everybody.
What amazes me about it is I've been in swim bait culture a little bit.
Okay.
And the people who we see around, it seems to be very male dominated.
Right.
And it seems to be very heavy on machismo and not sexism, but sort of exclusion.
There's definitely a lot of that. So I don't really know how many other women are throwing big baits. I encourage it. I think for me, they're more fun than to try to throw a finesse or something small or just power bait. But right now I've been throwing a lot of the Defiant, which we did tell you about.
Sure, tell me for people who don't know, what's the Defiant?
So the Defiant is a soft swim bait. We have two sizes, a 210 and a 247. And they do come in 3 sink rates. So for me, you can do any of the sink rates work great, just depending on your preference, where you're at. But my first 6-pound smallmouth came off of the Defiant.
Where
210.
was that?
That was on the Mississippi River in Minnesota, and that was an experience that I wish every woman could actually do.
Now, one of the things, you're obviously in good shape, but you look like you're about 85 pounds soaking wet. I mean, there's a physical aspect to swim baiting, kind of like musky fishing. Do you think women are turned off because it seems like it might be harder than going out and throwing a drop shot or a jerk bait?
I mean, I haven't asked anybody if that's really what an issue is. It could be. I do know I do get tired. My neck does ache. I'm throwing them for 8-hour days. Like, it's a long day. I think if they throw it and they just kind of give it a shot for an hour or so, I think they would actually build their confidence to where they would feel more comfortable just chucking that big bait daily. But that's a good question.
What about the right gear? I mean, I assume, like, we've gone musky fishing and thrown the pounder. And if you don't have the right rod and reel for that, you can feel it in your shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Like, do you have particular rods and reels in line that make swim baiting easier for you?
So I'm using a lot of the Douglas rods for that heavier bait, which is working great. I think there's other rods on different companies that are too stiff, and that's not a preference for me. So a medium heavy is okay. And then the reels I'm using you could do a 300 for a Daiwa, or I'm using a 13 fishing reel. The Concept C. Concept A, I think, is the bigger one. But you do need that right gear. You have to have the right gear for these baits to properly catch them, for one, and then for two, to help you and your body.
So what about glide baits? Because that's what I really get into, and I'm sucked in by the sexy factor sometimes, not the effectiveness factor.
Right.
And it's hard because you go out and you spend $200-300 on a bait that may not work. What's sort of I hate to use the word entry level, but a sub $100 glide bait that I could use that will get me bit?
Gancraft makes a good one. So those are good price points.
So what are the price points on the 178 and on the?
So those are around $70, and then up to 100 and 120.
Oh, that's not. I hate to say it because I never would have thought this 20 years ago, but that's not a bad price for a premium bait that's going to catch you a big bait.
That was expensive. That was expensive back in the day, but now that's a lower price for those, and for the quality, you're not going to find anything better.
So what do you do with that Gancraft joint and claw? How do you get bit? Does it require heavy manipulation?
So every time I cast them, it's different. It's just going to be different. The fish are going to tell me what's working. So I can either spin them, I can just slow troll them, which a lot of my bites, especially at Clear Lake, which I'll be, is a slow wind. Slow roll, it's not going to go far out. It's going to be very subtle, and that attracts them, and I get a lot of bites doing that.
And once they bite, especially if they don't get it all the way down in their throat, if it's flapping around, how do you keep them pinned when you're fighting?
I'm always going to keep my rod tip down, just drive them back down into the water. That way they don't come up and they have a chance to spit it.
Particular colors on those baits, either the Defiant or the Gancraft?
Of course, we have the Big Bass Dreams collaboration color. I wish I had it.
Where can people get that or see that?
You can find those on the Big Bass Dreams website, bigbassdreams.com. So a lot of it's been sold out, but you can still find it on Big Bass Dreams website, as well as Modern Outdoor Tackle, which is in
Missouri.
Yeah.
They have a badass website with the high-end swim baits in a place where you wouldn't necessarily expect it, but it's kind of a heartbeat of bass fishing culture.
Yeah, they're great.
So if you have one, I hate to do this to you because I know you travel, one lake or river to fish the rest of your life with the swim bait, where is it?
That is hard. So
I'll give you 2.
it's my favorite. I'm going to say is St. Lawrence River.
Okay.
/ Lake-O. I have a lot of fun there, but the Mississippi River has been a blast too with swim baits. And then I'm going to do 3.
Okay.
But down in Florida, the headwaters is fun with those big baits as well.
Really?
But the big baits, like you can go anywhere and have fun with them.
See, and I haven't been to headwaters yet. We've written a lot about it, but I think it would just be like matted grass. You're fishing grass edges,
You're going to
points
fish the
and
edge.
canals.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of points just because it's just a flood zone, farming zone. But you just fish the edge. Oliver and I caught, I think it was an 11-3 on the Defiant. Just fishing swimming by the edge of some grass that came up, and it was just sitting in there.
And I know I've been stalking
flipped it.
I know you both flipped it 11-3?
Yeah, he did.
Wow. Now I know I've been stalking your social media. I know you have Cast is a new company in the Bass.
So Cast is one that Big Bass Dreams is collaborating with.
Okay.
I did bring you, I wanted to show you these.
Holy cow.
This is what we're throwing, guys. This is what I'm most confident on throwing the last few years. But we do start with a smaller size. So this is going to be a 20 gram.
Let me see that.
Sorry about that.
And that has kind of a scooped out mouth. Is that a popper? Does it sink?
They're all floating.
Okay.
So you can actually work it different ways. You just want to manipulate it. It can do a subtle or a big plop. And then I think Ollie caught another 11 on the 120, I want to say. So Oliver and I caught an 11-3 on this.
You can see the
gram.
marks on this one where it's been worked hard.
But I mean, we're even catching smallies on the big guys.
Really?
Like, there's no limit to this. It's just reaction. So to them, they're not thinking, oh, this is too big. This is just another bait fish for them.
And is this your signature color?
This is our signature color.
That's awesome.
So if you guys can see Cast collaboration with Big Bass Streams, we have different sizes. I mean, we can even go for tuna. They have other colors as well, obviously.
And that'll withstand a tuna bite too. So if I were to take it to Panama.
Oh, you can take it anywhere you want.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it through wired or is it just they have super beefy hooks?
Yep.
Yeah, through wired, beefy hooks.
Yep.
Rotating hook hangers. That's a badass
Made of
thing. I
wood.
gotta get some
Yeah.
of
These are, well, you can borrow them anytime. Yeah. I think I just said that now.
And that big eye for them to focus on.
Yeah, these things are great.
Okay, Riley. One last question.
Go ahead.
I know you've been to Australia. You've been all over the U.S., Canada. What's your dream fishing? What's your goal, like in the next 5 years, to do? Either a particular trip or something you want to accomplish.
I think going for native peacocks would be
Brazil,
ideal. Yeah.
Colombia, Venezuela,
Something.
those places.
Yeah.
But we'll need to get you down to Brazil.
You're gonna have to
because
take me down.
They're the most awesome fish, and I'm sure they would eat that because they eat that big prop.
You know,
bait.
I hear they do. So, I mean, they're topwater bait. So that's the way I would want to catch them. Ideally, topwater down in where they are, not in Florida, but native. So that would be awesome if you could set that up.
So, other than bigbassdreams.com, if people want to find you on social media, where can they
You
find
guys can find me at Riley Kolich on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
And she has her captain's license, so if you want to book a trip,
Right.
she's the one. Oliver's great, but she's the real brains behind the
I
whole
appreciate
operation.
that.
Thank you
That's
so
awesome.
much for your time.
Thank you.